When the National Football League kicked off its 70th season, 28 teams set their sights on a showdown in New Orleans, Super Bowl 24. For the next 4 months, 1,000 collisions echoed through stadiums across America as teams from California to the New York Island traveled a rocky road to the Super Bowl.
Goes across the middle, caught! Cutting back, going to the corner. Breaks another tackle, he's caught! He's on the 30, the 20! Down the sideline, he is gonna go all the way! He has some open field, still on his feet at the 5, still going to the goal line. Spins around, he's gone all the way for a touchdown!
One team that was never considered a favorite to reach New Orleans was the Denver Broncos. Finishing at just .500 the year before, the Broncos had problems on defense and with the running game. They were considered a finesse team.
Take some ass today. Take some ass today, baby. Let's take some ass, baby.
But in 1989, the Broncos discarded their image as wimps. No longer were they a kinder, gentler team. The Broncos' defense grew bigger and meaner. There was also more muscle on offense. Head coach Dan Reeves weeded out the weaklings and sculpted an undersized offensive line into overpowering blockers. While bigger meant better, the Broncos' biggest star had his leanest year. John Elway did not have a super season, but rookie running back Bobby Humphrey did, and he gave the Broncos a set of legs as powerful as Elway's arm. While Humphrey rushed for 1,000 yards and lifted the Broncos' offense to another level, nothing in the mile-high air moved faster than an Elway pass. Although Elway's statistics were poor, he had never led a team that was better balanced. Still, the scales of victory were often tipped by one pull of his right arm.
Elway is back, hops up in the pocket, throwing it to the end zone for Vance Johnson, and he has got it for a touchdown.
The Broncos were no longer a one-man show when the defense took center stage.
We got real bullets, 5. Real bullets.
Once the weak sisters of this team, the Broncos' defense became the better half. They allowed the fewest points in the NFL and led the charge to the playoffs.
They're coming strong, baby!
Every starter on defense had at least one sack or interception as Denver led the conference in takeaways. The Broncos ran away from their competitors and clinched the Western Division crown 4 weeks before the season ended, leaving no doubt as to who was the best team in the AFC. They made it to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 4 years. In the past decade, there were 18 teams who never made it to the Super Bowl even once. In 1989, the Denver Broncos again proved they were one terrific team. A team terrific. In 1989, the most loyal and passionate fans in the NFL anticipated the arrival of an innovative, aggressive defense designed by new defensive coordinator Wade Phillips. Almost overnight, Phillips transformed this enthusiastic unit, and the results of his work were evident on opening day.
Receivers and Hurd. DeBerg, the quarterback. First down from the 25-yard line. DeBerg looks to his right, throws to his right, and it's intercepted. Braxton, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
The new-look Broncos defense forced 4 Kansas City turnovers that translated into 24 points. Running back Sammy Winder and runner-turned-receiver Steve Sewell turned in a touchdown apiece, but this day clearly belonged to the defense.
Snap. DeBerg's drop to the 5-yard line. This time the throw is intercepted, and it'll be a touchdown return. Randy Robbins takes it away inside the 20-yard line.
With a 14-point win in his pocket, Dan Reeves' next concern was the Buffalo Bills. The Bills were favorites to win the AFC, and Denver had lost 10 of its 11 Monday night games on the road. But in prime time, Denver's new faces got the highest ratings. Linebacker Michael Brooks started the scoring when he burst into the end zone for a safety. Rookie Warren Powers, number 91, recorded his first sack. Tyrone Braxton picked off his second interception of the season. First-year man David Treadwell kicked 4 field goals. And the Broncos' number 1 pick in the supplemental draft, Bobby Humphrey, gave every indication that he was worth the risk.
In motion, Humphrey the setback. Humphrey gets the football, goes straight ahead to the end zone. Bobby Humphrey, 5 yards.
I think from a confidence level, it was a tremendous win for a lot of new faces on our football team. And, you know, to get that monkey off your back, you can't win on Monday night away from home. You can't win on artificial turf.
I think momentum-wise, it was something that could carry us to the Super Bowl if you could believe that this early in the season.
The Los Angeles Raiders ain't what they used to be, but they always get the Broncos' juices flowing.
I love playing against the Raiders. I mean, that's our biggest rivalry in the AFC West. As far as our game plan or how excited we get before a game, it's another team that we have to beat and we feel we should beat if we're going to be the AFC champions.
A wave of orange washed all over the silver and black and struck for 6 more takeaways that helped the Broncos build a 28-0 lead.
Elway's drop, they blitz. Elway runs up in the pocket, gets away. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown!
John Elway ran for 1 touchdown and threw a pair of scoring passes to Mark Jackson. But it took a brilliant interception by rookie safety Steve Atwater to finally thwart a late Raider comeback attempt. For the rookie safety, the win was as big as they come.
Going into the season, we knew that we had a chance to be good. You know, we still have a long way to go at this point, but you know, that was our biggest test so far. And you know, for us to come out victorious, it was a big game for us. It was a big motivational factor also.
The Cleveland Browns have been through it all against the Denver Broncos. On this Sunday, they aim to snap a 10-game losing streak against their nemesis from the West and wasted no time zeroing in on John Elway for 3 first-half sacks. The Bronco quarterback suddenly became an easy target for the Browns and their fans. Bernie Kosar connected with Webster Slaughter for the Browns' only touchdown, and Cleveland held a 13-6 lead. When early in the 4th quarter, fans in the dog pound grew nastier than usual and threw more than just insults at Elway and the Broncos.
Because of the dog biscuits being hurled at the Broncos in the end zone, they will change ends of the field to permit Denver to run the play.
This is something we've never seen.
It's the first time I've seen it.
The Broncos were forced to play the rest of the game against the wind, but in this unique scenario, John Elway merely laughed in the face of the storm.
Nice work.
The snap to Elway. He backs and throws, and this will be a touchdown.
Vance Johnson's touchdown tied the score at 13 with under 4 minutes remaining, and the Broncos' attacking defense was eager to get the ball back into Elway's hands.
Kosar to throw, firing over the middle. The pass is intercepted. It is intercepted by Mark Munford at the 35-yard line, crossing the field in Browns territory and out of bounds at the 34. And the tide has turned dramatically in favor of the Denver Broncos.
Denver had indeed taken control, and with less than 2 minutes to play, the Broncos had the opportunity to put the game away.
We can go toss right.
I understand, but we do that. I don't watch the backside on this one. Let's go left, wing opposite, and go with your toss 28 fullback lead.
Hey, tell him to cut that outside guy.
He's going to do that. He does that anyway.
In motion goes Bratton out of the backfield. Pitch out to Winder, left side in trouble, hit at the 14, fumbles the football. The Browns have it. The Browns got the ball at the 16.
With Denver handing him new life, Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar went to work, putting some old Broncos ghosts to rest. Kosar drove the Browns 54 yards in less than 2 minutes and set up Matt Barr's 48-yard field goal attempt.
Low snap, the kick is underway. It may have the distance. It is. Goal!
With the wind at his back, Barr's kick cleared the goalpost by inches and dealt the Broncos their first loss of the season. Which way, then, were the Broncos headed? Would the heartbreaker in Cleveland send them south, or would it build their spirit and carry them to a division title? Well, the running game was beginning to improve as rookie Bobby Humphrey got the feel of the land. And the passing game was not nearly as explosive as in the past, despite the spectacular play of receiver Vance Johnson. So which way would they go? The question wasn't answered until late in the fourth quarter.
Humphrey straight ahead. He's at the 10, still on his feet at the 5, still going to the goal line. Slams the ball into the end zone.
With the Broncos behind 10-9 and a minute 3 left to play, that rookie running back stepped forward. Who knows, sometime down the road, Bobby Humphrey may just step into the same class as, say, an Eric Dickerson. Like Mercury, wing-footed messenger of the gods, he's delivered time and time again. But like the great Achilles, even Eric Dickerson's high-flying heels can be clipped. The Broncos held Dickerson to just 35 yards rushing and the Colts to 128 total yards. Meanwhile, Broncos offensive linemen Perry, Jariga, Kartz, Waddell, Lanier, and Bishop paved paths for its less heralded runners en route to 2 touchdowns and 169 yards on the ground.
And Elway brings it to Humphrey, who drives to the goal line and scores. And there was a counteraction that's different from any.
But the character of this team was revealed in a fierce fourth-quarter goal line stand that showed the all-new Denver defense at its best.
4th and goal at the Denver 1-yard line. Trudeau takes the snap, gives to Dickerson, drives left. Oh, he's thrown on. The Broncos take over at the 2-yard.
The win was especially sweet for those Denver defenders who spent a dreadful Halloween night in Indianapolis last season. The Broncos allowed the Colts 55 points, the most in a game since 1968. Regrettably, for most of last season, opponents found many ways to make the Mile High men miserable. And the biggest priority for Denver was to attend to a rush defense that finished next to last in the NFL.
We felt like we had to play the run better. We made a concentrated effort. throughout training camp to try to get better against the run, and I think we have improved. So we've got a solid defensive unit that really is cohesiveness has been good, and I think Wade Phillips has done a great job of lifting a lot of responsibility where they, he's been able to turn them loose and let them go out and play and not worry a lot about assignments.
Ah, yes, Wade Phillips, the son of a football bum.
We were intimidated by our offense. Our offense was better than our defense, naturally, and they probably still are, but I mean, they pushed them around a lot in practice. Attitude-wise, we needed to change that.
Read and react became react and attack. The result was a unit that allowed the fewest points in the NFL and was #1 in the AFC in takeaways.
Tenacious, attacking, forcing turnovers.
Get after it, man.
Yeah, get after it.
For these young guys, they come in every game is new and exciting, and they're in a different place that they've ever been, and they're flying around, and it really bleeds some of that enthusiasm into us.
And he'll hit the slant. Okay, can you hear me? All right, here we go.
When Phillips arrived in Denver, he evaluated weaknesses and made wholesale changes. Just 5 starters remained from the year before. 2 men switched positions, and 6 new starters were plugged in for the '89 campaign.
I said, Mecklenburg can do this, let's let him do it. Fletcher can rush, let's let him rush. You just find out the talents of your players and try to utilize that.
Sounds simple enough, but not so easy to implement. For Phillips, the job took patience, and like any good teacher, he has plenty of that.
I'm gone now. All right, that's it right there. From a teaching standpoint, if you go in and say, hey, this is complicated and you're not going to be able to learn it and we got to adjust, and you throw everything at them at once, it's going to be complicated. See it?
Phillips is not a defensive genius, but a solid teacher and communicator. He runs a vastly improved unit that will need continuous fine-tuning and upgrading. But even the best defenses have their off days, and an October Sunday in Seattle began as one of those days. The Seahawks stormed to a 14-0 lead before the Denver D got back in sync, and before John Elway's air attack took flight. Wide receiver Mark Jackson, number 80, was awarded Acrobat of the Day honors, but he was just one of several offensive stars in the Broncos' comeback.
Elway fakes the handoff, pumps it once, throws the touchdown pass, and it's 14-13. Elway with the fakes. Brings the pass and throws toward the end zone.
The Seahawks hung in to take the lead again, and the Broncos were forced to come from behind a second time.
Gets some time. Now the time is going away. Slips a tackle and throws it deep. There's a flag. The ball is caught inside the 25. Johnson will go to the end.
The Broncos rallied to tie the score at 21 and take the game into overtime. In regulation, David Treadwell, the AFC's leading scorer, had missed 3 field goal attempts, but got the opportunity to make up for it in the extra period.
An OT, snap, ball down, Treadwell's kick on the way. Let's go home. The Broncos have won it. 6-1 Broncos on a 27-yard field goal. And
Treadwell's kick earned the Broncos their 6th win in 7 games. That week, Denver outgained the Seahawks in total yardage and won in overtime. The next week, they outgained the Philadelphia Eagles, but lost.
Elway wants to run the draw. He's at the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, John Elway.
Winder is in as Elway rose to the right, throws to Vance Johnson. Touchdown, Vance Johnson. First and goal at the 4. Elway dumps it off. It is caught. Ratton dives. Scores. Broncos lead. 4-yard touchdown pass.
After taking a 24-21 lead into the 4th period, a victory seemed well in hand until a freak play let the Eagles back in the game. An Eagles punt was ruled touch, then fumbled by the Broncos' Darren Carrington, number 29. Philadelphia was awarded the ball at the point of contact, and 6 plays later, the Eagles had their winning points, the most scored on the Broncos in the regular season. At the midseason mark, the Denver defense was playing above all expectations, and the offense continued to get great performances from younger players, like guard Doug Waddell, number 67, who provided escort services for fellow rookie Bobby Humphrey. And with Ricky Nattiel sidelined with injuries, Vance Johnson was fast becoming one of the league leaders at his position. But it was Bobby Humphrey who again paced a rejuvenated running attack with 105 yards and a pair of touchdowns as the Broncos overwhelmed the playoff-bound Steelers.
And he is in the end zone.
Yes, Bobby Humphrey is indeed the one key acquisition that has revived the Broncos' running game.
If you look at every championship that's ever been won, there hasn't been a team that's won it that didn't have a running game and didn't have a defense that could stop the run.
Broncos today got the player they wanted in the supplemental draft. Denver selected Alabama running back Bobby Humphrey.
Bobby Humphrey was a 2-time All-American at Alabama and entered the 1988 season as a leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy. But he re-injured his left foot in the second game and missed the balance of the season. So there was always that nagging question.
Was Bobby Humphrey's foot really healed? But I felt that, hey, if I can come in and, really buckle down and learn what to do and then get me on the playing field, I was going to prove that, I can be Bobby Humphrey again.
Humphrey had re-injured a stress fracture of the 5th metatarsal bone in his left foot, but since joining the Broncos, he has shown no signs of weakness in body or mind. The Broncos have been looking for a great running back since Otis Armstrong retired almost a decade ago.
I feel like, hey, if I get the ball here on the 20-yard line, I might just bust an 80-yarder. And, I think about that every time I touch the football. Every given play, I think about something big is going to happen.
Born and bred in Birmingham, Humphrey stayed home to play at Alabama. But playing football was something Bobby's mother hardly encouraged.
I said in my heart, this poor little kid thinks he's going to be on national TV playing football. And I knew he wasn't because I knew I wasn't going to let him play.
I was playing the trumpet, and she wanted me to be in the band, and that's what she wanted me to do because she was so, afraid that I would get injured.
If I find out you playing football anyway up to that school, you tell those coaches that I am coming up there and they're going to have some trouble out of me because I do not want you on that football team. I wish somebody had tossed him a trumpet instead of football. He'd been better off,
True, trumpet players don't take a beating quite like running backs do, but Bobby Humphrey has made his share of sweet music on the field. Bobby would go on to make the all-rookie team, and above all, he has given the Broncos something they have sorely lacked, a running game.
Take a team photograph after with a victory.
The sole possessors of first place in the AFC West kicked off the second half of the season by jetting out to Kansas City, where the Chiefs defense answered their fans by battering Bobby Humphrey and the Broncos. Kansas City, who would finish the season with the conference's best defense, held the Broncos to 213 yards in total offense. While the Chiefs threw a blanket over the Broncos and smothered John Elway, the Denver defense returned the favor by punishing Chiefs quarterback Steve Pelluer. The Broncos' attacking defense offers both high risks and high rewards.
To throw it on first down, and he is hit and stripped of the ball, picked up on the bounce, and the Broncos will score a touchdown. The touchdown is Greg Prescott.
Denver led 13-6, and the Chiefs desperately needed fourth quarter heroics from Pelluer, a quarterback who has never been one to provide them.
Come on.
This is the play of the game. 13-6, Denver lead. The drop. Hops up in the pocket, throws it to the back of the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Abel
Unfortunately for the Chiefs, the final quarter is an alarm clock for John Elway. It comes, and he wakes up. Twice in the last minutes, he faced crucial third down plays and converted them both. A bullet to Mark Jackson provided one first down. Then, with less than a minute to play on 3rd and 8 from the Kansas City 39, Elway's shuttle pass to Steve Sewell was the launching pad for the game winner.
This will be the last play of the fourth quarter. It's down. Treadwell's kick on the way, and good! 1 second.
The Broncos' victory not only gave them the best record in the conference, but made them a virtual lock to capture the crown in the AFC West.
Some tough circumstances coming away from home playing. That crowd got hostile there at the end. Everybody hung in there. I think that's what it shows you. If you just hang in there, baby, good things will happen to you. Because you guys fought your ass off. When we win, baby, we don't run gases the next week. Hey, Greg Cragen for a touchdown, too. You know what the end zone looks like now. Great job, Greg. Okay, let's hit a knee now. We have the Lord's Prayer, all right?
4 hours before the Broncos met the Redskins at windswept RFK Stadium, John Elway was reeling with a stomach virus and was unable to play. Enter Gary Kubiak, who got off to a rough start, fumbling on the 3rd play from scrimmage to set up the Redskins' lone touchdown. But from then on, the veteran backup played his role superbly, throwing 2 touchdown passes in the first half.
Throws, pass, touchdown.
For 7 seasons, Gary Kubiak's knowledge of the game and leadership abilities have made him indispensable.
Kubiak's drop, he throws, Natil, touchdown at the back of the end zone. Ricky Natil almost to the back of the end zone. He got behind A.J. Johnson, and it's Kubiak's 2nd touchdown pass of the half. And the Broncos...
By the next Sunday, John Elway was up and about, but had yet to put up the kind of numbers that we have come to expect from him. But in just 1 half, he directed the Broncos to a 38-0 lead. In a magnificent display of all-around football, the Broncos dismantled the Seahawks with every weapon imaginable. The rookie backfield tandem of Melvin Bratton blocking and Bobby Humphrey running complemented Elway's most efficient passing day of the year. Just 10 completions, but 4 went for touchdown.
Elway just lobs the ball for Mike Young, and he makes the catch. Touchdown. Elway's 4th touchdown pass of the first half.
With 8 sacks and 4 takeaways, the Broncos clinched their 4th division title of the 80s. After clinching a title so soon, a letdown is almost inevitable. But the next week, the Broncos have the Raiders on the ropes for 3.5 quarters. Alfonso Carricker, Greg Cragen, Michael Brooks, Carl Mecklenburg, and Ron Holmes, number 90, kept the pressure on Raider quarterbacks. The offense generated more first downs and more total yards than the Raiders, but mistakes and penalties negated at least 1 touchdown, and the Broncos allowed the Raiders to escape with a 3-point win in overtime. When a Rocky Mountain blizzard blows through Denver, Broncos opponents usually roll over and die. But all Dan Rees could do was watch as the New York Giants used the elements as their ally. In what became a determined defensive battle, Simon Fletcher, Rick Dennison, Tyrone Braxton, Wyman Henderson, Dennis Smith, Steve Atwater, and others shut down the Giants in the second half.
The snap, Elway back, runs up in the pocket, throws it to the end zone, touchdown!
The Broncos could manage only a 32-yard touchdown pass to Michael Young as the Giants' defense halted 2 Denver scoring drives in the final 2 minutes to escape with a 7-point win. At stake in Week 15, home field advantage throughout the playoffs that the Broncos could knock off the Cardinals. To help them achieve that end, some 35,000 Broncos fans traveled to Phoenix and were treated to the most lopsided road victory in team history.
Fumble on the exchange is picked up by Mecklenburg. He's back up on his feet. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He scores.
The defense limited the Cardinals to 22 rushing yards and only 101 yards overall. And Bobby Humphrey became the first Denver rookie to rush for over 1,000 yards and showed he could do more than run.
And it's a touchdown. Bobby Humphrey throws the pass to Bratton. Left and Sewell right. Elway fakes to Winder. Rolls right. Throws the pass. Caught inside the 15. Kay is at the 5 to the goal line.
The Broncos rebounded from 2 straight losses to secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So the final game of the regular season had little meaning in the grand scheme of things. The Broncos wound up falling on their faces despite holding Charger runners to just 82 yards on the ground and intercepting 4 passes. Led at the half on a Bobby Humphrey touchdown, but the Chargers retaliated to win on the final play of the game on a 45-yard field goal that grazed the upright. But at 11-5, the Broncos still closed out the regular season with the AFC's best record and were back in the playoffs for the 6th time in 7 years.
Good afternoon from Mile High Stadium. Bob Martin and Larry Zimmer. The Denver Broncos in the playoffs and trying to get to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in 4 years. They face an interesting stumbling block in this first game. A Pittsburgh Steelers team back from the dead to be the hottest team in the AFC right now. But the Broncos were the hottest team in the AFC through all of the regular season, and they are heavy favorites to win today.
Indeed, this was not the same Steeler team the Broncos had crushed earlier by a score of 34-7.
To Hodge, and Hodge swings through there, cuts back to the left. He's still running over the 20, the 25, 30. He's going to break loose. Over the 40, the 45, trapped at the 50, and knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field.
Merrill Hodge rushed for 100 first-half yards and added a touchdown, and Pittsburgh led 17-7. The Cinderella Steelers were serious with their intent to shock the world, and behind the playoffs' most surprising star, Pittsburgh controlled the ball for most of the first half. But with only 20 seconds left in the first half, a dose of mile-high magic brought the Steelers back to earth.
Over the 50, trying to run along the 50-yard line. Woods is chasing him. Jackson to the far side to the 45 and out of bounds at the 42. The holder with 2 seconds to go in the half. Ball is down. Treadwell's kick is long enough, and it is good.
David Treadwell's field goal drew the Broncos to within 7 points. When early in the third quarter, Pittsburgh's game plan began breaking up.
Coming to the right side, he gets out to only the 43. Driven back by Cragen as the ball loose. Do we have the first turnover? Yes. Tyrone Braxton comes up with...
The Steelers committed the first turnover of the game, and like veterans of playoff wars, Denver took advantage of the opportunity and exploited one-on-one coverage.
Throw on first down, pumps it, and throws it long, and it's wide open for a touchdown. Just that quick, and the Broncos get it to Vance Johnson.
The surprising Steelers answered Vance Johnson's touchdown with a pair of field goals to regain the lead. So, trailing 23-17 with 7 minutes 6 seconds remaining in the game, the Broncos began their final drive.
Handoff is to Humphrey, back to Elway on the flea flicker. And the throw up the near side for Vance makes the catch.
It was nothing like the drive in Cleveland 3 years ago, but it was dramatic enough to stand on its own in the back pages of Denver playoff history.
No motion, handoff, Pratt, dive, scores! Broncos lead for the first time. Denver 24, Pittsburgh 23.
And his crowd is going berserk at Mile High Stadium.
Finally, then, the loudest fans in the NFL played their part in the victory.
Now he's signaling to his club. Brings lips in motion. Calls for the ball. Snap is a little low. The ball's loose.
Picked up by Hodge, and a big pile-up. The Broncos recover the fumble.
Broncos president Pat Bowlen was in his usual spot on the sidelines and watched his team's fourth quarter comeback earn them a return to the AFC Championship game for the third time in 4 years.
Good morning from Mile High Stadium. An early start for two teams who have been here before. The Denver Broncos and the Cleveland Browns for the third time in 4 years as the road to the Super Bowl comes through Denver.
Despite coming up on the short end of the stick in the two previous championship games against Denver, the Natalie-clad Browns hope to steal some Rocky Mountain thunder. But at Mile High, the color orange belongs to the Broncos.
San Francisco got Montana, but we got the way!
Like the Broncos, the Browns have an attacking defense, and one way to beat that is to exploit a safety blitz with a quick read and release. The shovel pass is yet another weapon in the Broncos' offensive arsenal. And with just minutes gone in the first quarter, Denver appeared ready to give the Browns a premature burial. But on the very next play, the Broncos fumbled.
And the Browns have it at the 8-yard line. Big turnover as Humphrey dropped the pitch out.
The Broncos fans' call to arms on defense hardly seemed necessary as some normally reliable Cleveland hands suffered a shameful first half.
Deep over the middle, Langhorne open, drops the football at the 8-yard line. He had beaten Tyrone Braxton. Kosar had the pass there, and Langhorne dropped it.
But Denver's defense didn't profit solely from dropped passes. Bernie Kosar threw his share of bad ones as well.
Kosar back into the pocket, pumps once, throws a floater over the middle, and it is intercepted at the 35-yard line by Dennis Smith. A poorly thrown football by Bernie Kosar that floated over the middle, and Dennis Smith with the interception.
Contrasting Kosar's dismal effort was the inspired play of John Elway, whose performance on this day was more rarefied than the mile-high air.
John flushed out to the right, throws it upfield for a wide open Mike Young at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, 70 yards, Elway to Mike Young. He beat Frank Benefield and ran it in the last 39-0 Denver. Elway moving out to the right, and you always know that the most dangerous thing to have John Elway doing is on the move, and Young was behind everybody.
Maybe the thin air did give Cleveland trouble in the first half, so after intermission, the Browns took a deep breath and came out refreshed. And neither the air nor the Broncos defense seemed to bother Bernie and the Browns.
Snap, Kosar backpedaling, throwing deep, left side for Brian Brennan, got the ball, touchdown Browns!
Brian Brennan's first touchdown of the year got the Browns on the board and back in the game and marked the beginning of a second-half points explosion.
Elway's drop. Runs up in the pocket, still looking, throws it up the near side for a wide open Mike Young. 30, cuts back down over the 20.
Michael Young's second big gainer of the day sparked the Broncos offense and set up John Elway's second touchdown pass.
The setback as Elway wants to throw it on first and goal. Mobley, touchdown!
In a game where several unlikely heroes would emerge, Orson Mobley gave Denver a 10-point lead. But championship games are made for those who light it up year in and year out. And no one shined more brilliantly on that Sunday than Denver's aggressive go-to guy, John Elway. Elway's 25-yard run on third down kept the drive alive and helped set up Sammy Winder for a score. The touchdown earned the Broncos a 24-7 lead, but Bernie Kosar and Brian Brennan brought the Browns back.
Johnson on the left side, Jackson on the right, hand off to Bratton for the first time today. He fumbles the football. Felix Wright has it. He's off to the races, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Browns. Let's see if it stands.
Felix Wright was ruled out at the 1, but 2 plays later, Cleveland did reach the end zone.
Hand off. Manoa, touchdown Browns as he followed the block of Ron Middleton right up the gut into the end zone. The Tonga tank.
2 scores within 2 minutes brought the Browns to within a field goal. But as the third quarter ended, so did the Browns' comeback attempt. On yet another key third down play, Elway left the pocket and was again rewarded for his improbable improvisation. It was just another 40-yard across-the-body, running the wrong way pass that never shows up in the rating formula, but that is spectacular beyond description. 2 plays later, Elway, who completed 20 passes for nearly 200 yards, found Sammy Winder for the game's final touchdown. Winder stepped in for an injured Bobby Humphrey, and the 8-year veteran responded with 2 touchdowns to deal the Browns yet another conference championship loss. The Cleveland Browns were left only to wonder what mystical and magical powers belonged to the Denver Broncos. With a 31-21 fourth quarter lead, it only remained for the Broncos defense to dominate the game's final minutes.
We need a pick this time! A pick this time! Pick it up! Pick it up!
Again in the gun to Kozar. The drop. This time the pass is going to be intercepted at the Denver 45. Dennis Smith over the 50.
Dennis Smith's second interception sealed the Broncos' 3rd AFC championship in 4 years.
Gets a game ball, all right?
There were no game balls for any of the Broncos on Super Bowl Sunday. The Broncos were rewarded with yet another trip to the Super Bowl, but again it was there that their mystical and magical powers disappeared. And it remained a puzzle as to how a team that could soar to such great heights could fall so hard and fast. The winningest team in the AFC had defied all odds to reach the summit of professional football, only to have their footprints blown away by the San Francisco 49ers. Acclaimed as one of the greatest teams of all time, the 49ers could have beaten any team of any era. But on that Sunday, under America's microscope, the Denver Broncos were their victim. It is the hottest pressure cooker in American sport, and each Super Bowl has its heroes and memorable plays. Each also has its moments when some of the game's greatest players prove they are human after all. Football is a game designed to break your heart. That is a certainty. It's what you do after it's broken that counts. For 30 years, the Denver Broncos have been a great source of pride in the Colorado Rockies. In those 3 decades, there were 10 NFL teams who have never reached the Super Bowl even once. The Broncos have been there 4 times. Indeed, the leadership team of head coach Dan Reeves and owner-president Pat Bowlen will ensure many more years of success. Since Bowlen assumed ownership, the Broncos have been one of the league's most innovative and exciting teams, and will continue to be. The allure of the Broncos has drawn their faithful fans to Mile High Stadium in record numbers, in all conditions.
Packers handing the ball off for a loss, and it's picked up by the Browns on the fumble. It'll be a touchdown for the Broncos.
And with that support, the Denver Broncos became the only AFC team in the 1980s to win back-to-back conference titles. And they have not had a losing season since Pat Bowlen took over in 1984. In an era where repeat winners are rare and consistent success so difficult to attain, the Broncos remained at the top. The Broncos have used a pocket full of miracles to provide a boatload of memories in an unforgettable decade. There was the drive. And there was the fumble when Jeremiah Castile stole the ball. It was another mile-high miracle. Unable to realize their goals of a world championship in the 80s, their obsession for winning promises that the Broncos will be contenders throughout the 1990s and beyond.